So let's take a look at number 33. So 33 said, you want to burn, do you guys recognize this problem? How many of you guys recognize this problem? Where do you recognize this problem from? Sophia? The test. This is what we had on our, it's actually our last test. This is one of the problems on our last test. It just was equals. It wasn't an inequality. All right, so what do you think you're going to make sure that you look at for your next test? Colin? This problem. Yes, Sarah. Okay, I'll check in a second. All right, so you want to burn at least, how many of you guys noticed that this was essentially the same thing as what was on your test? How many of you guys noticed that? Okay, how many of you guys pulled your test out and looked at it? Molly, yes, you did? Did anyone else think to pull their test out and look at it? Why? How many of you had troubles with 33? Well, why the heck didn't you pull your test out? That was dumb. Don't you think that was kind of dumb? Okay, so why would you come to class? I'm happy to do it because I'm doing it. That's my job and I want to help you guys. But why wouldn't you, if you knew that you've seen this before, why wouldn't you pull it out? Why are you coming to me saying I didn't know what to do if you didn't even look at your test to figure it out? Can you guys see where I'm coming from? All right, an advanced student goes back in a different resource that they know they have this in and uses it. That's what an advanced student does. All right, so you guys need to now start thinking of being an advanced student. That you just do. All right, so we want to burn at least 300 calories. All right, we are swimming. And we are swimming, but we have two different ways. So this is a little different only in that it's just swimming, but it's two different things. So it's the same idea as what we had on our test. All right? So we have breaststroke, and we have backstroke. Part of you guys, part of your understanding of a problem and how to do it has to come from your organization. If you notice, when I write my givens down for a problem, I don't write it as a paragraph. I never write it as a paragraph. I always break it down in like bullet points. So it's super easy to see, and it's super easy to see those rates, super easy to see the information. So they tell us that we burn 12 calories per minute swimming breaststroke, 12 calories per minute. Backstroke, we have 9 calories. These are rates. I'm hoping all of you are like, okay, these are parts. What information do I know I have to multiply 12 calories per minute doing breaststroke by? What information do I know I have to multiply that by? Valentina? The number of minutes you're doing breaststroke. How many of you guys agree with that? What information do I know I have to multiply the number of calories per minute doing backstroke? Matthew? The number of minutes during backstroke. So figuring that out and recognizing that as you're writing it, even if you went like this, that's helping you make sense of the information that you have. That's helping you formulate your game plan as you're going. Okay. So then it says, if you have 30 minutes to swim laps, so 30 minutes total to swim, what is the minimum amount of time you should spend swimming breaststroke? Okay. Can I have more than one variable in this equation, this inequality? Can I have more than one variable? Because I have two things missing. Can I have more than one variable? Ada? Can I? And solve it? Can I have a variable for my number of minutes breaststroke and another variable for my number of minutes backstroke? No, I I cannot. What am I looking to find? What information am I looking to find? Colin?
The number of minutes breaststroke.
Excellent. So what that means is I'm going to set x equal to my number of minutes breaststroke. So when I'm done, that's the information I found. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. What else don't I know? What other information do I not know? I want you taking the time to think of this before you start your game plan. Addison, what else don't I know? Excellent. Well, the number of minutes, backstroke, right? So I don't know breaststroke, and now I don't know backstroke, right? Okay, so my number of minutes, backstroke. I don't know that. I'm not giving it another variable. However, what do I know about the total minutes that I'm swimming? Cameron? What do I know about the total minutes I'm swimming? What do I know about the total minutes I'm swimming? 30 minutes. If I know that I'm swimming 30 minutes total, and I know the number of minutes I'm swimming breaststroke, how can I figure my number of minutes swimming backstroke? What do you think, Cameron? Excellent. I'm going to take that 30 minutes and I'm going to subtract off the number of minutes I swim breaststroke. So I want to get that thinking out of the way before I do my game plan. If you did it after your game plan and you figured that out, that's fine, but I feel like I want to do that now because that's the hardest thinking in my brain. Okay, so now I'm going to write my general game plan. Here's my general one. You don't have to have a general, but when we have a lot of stuff going on, a general can be helpful. All right, so my whole is my total calories burned. How am I burning calories? In general, how am I burning calories? Brendan? The two of them, right? Yeah. So swimming breaststroke and then swimming backstroke? Excellent. So I have my number of calories breaststroke plus the number of calories backstroke. How many of you guys does that just make sense to from a common sense standpoint? Okay. So we want, this is the hardest part in my opinion, is this inequality. It's at least. So at least usually means that this is a minimum. Does that make sense to you guys when we see an at least? That usually means that our whole is a minimum. I'm going to write it as if this is a minimum. And then at the very end, I'm going to look at my answer and I'm going to say, does that make sense? If it's like, no, it can't be that. It has to be, we have to flip the symbol. Then I'm just going to go back and erase the symbol and flip the symbol in my math. The math is the same no matter what. Can you guys see that? I'm not going to have a negative coefficient here that I have to worry about flipping the symbol. All right, everything here is positive. So I'm going to guess that what we have to do has to be bigger than that or equal to that total. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so from now, I'm going to break this down. So I have my total calories burned is less or equal to. All right, Danny, how do I figure out the number of calories I'm going to burn doing breaststroke? Excellent, and I'm going to put BR.S for breaststroke times my number of minutes, just so I know that that's breaststroke. Nico, how am I going to find my total calories burned doing backstroke? Excellent, and I'm going to write back here. You guys cool with that? Okay, now if you did not do this thinking of what your number of minutes for breaststroke and your number of minutes backstroke is up here, you have to do it at this point. All right, I got it out of my head because I was thinking about it. You have to do it now if you didn't. So I'm just going to put this underneath here. We said that X was my number of minutes doing breaststroke, and we said my number of minutes doing backstroke is going to be 30 minus the X. Now I have everything that I need to solve this. My total calories burned is 300, is less than or equal to, my calories per minute for breaststroke is 12 times X plus 9 times the quantity of 30 minus X. Now, if I was to give you this on a test, I would expect you to simplify that completely before using it. And if you read the directions on your last test, that's exactly what I said. And a lot of you did not read the directions. So on your test, if I was to give this to you or something like this, please make sure you recognize I'm going to want that simplified. And then you're using the simplified equation to solve. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes or no? All right, so make sure you're reading directions. What do I do to simplify this? What am I going to do? Oh, Danny, I'm totally going to have you do it. You had your hand up and then you put it down. So what's the first thing I know that I need to do here, Danny? Distributive property. So I have 12x, I'm going to leave that alone, plus 9 times 30. I'm going to let you guys now skip having to show me 9 times 30, and now you can just do it. Now that this is the second time that we have seen this, let's go ahead and just do that math. What is 9 times 30? 270. So 270 minus 9 times x. I'm going to do adding the opposite there. Danny, now what do I expect you to do? So I can add these two together, right? So move them next to each other. Yep, so I do require, I know you guys don't like it, but I do require that you move them next to each other first. And to move them, you do need to make sure you do adding the opposite for that subtraction. All right, because you can't move numbers when we have addition. So Danny, what is 12x plus a negative 9x? Negative, positive 3x or negative? Excellent, positive. So that's going to be 3x plus 270. All right, now I have that simplified. Now I want to solve it. So finish solving that. So you're going to solve this now. Excellent. $30. Awesome. So x, I'm flipping the order, x is greater than or equal to 10, right? Okay, so this is where we say to ourselves, does that make sense? So if I go back in my problem, it says we want to burn at least 300 calories. So what we're doing has to be bigger than it. So that makes sense that that means that what we're doing for breaststroke has to be bigger than that 10 minutes. Does that make sense to you guys? So tell me, what would you do to explain your answer from here in a sentence form? Valentina? For 10 or more minutes? Yeah, so you can swim breaststroke for 10 or more minutes. How else could you have said that? How else could you have said that? AJ? Excellent, for at least 10 minutes. What else could you have said? Because there's different ways to say it. Matthew, what do you think? Excellent. All right. What else could you have said? Ada? Yeah. Well, I think what I was thinking of, if you remember from our last one, we didn't have the total number of calories. I think I said if we did breaststroke for 15 minutes, how many calories would we burn? Do you remember that's what we did on the last test? I didn't have a total number of calories. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. Yes. So this one, there you did. I misspoke on that one because on the one on the test you didn't have total number of calories. I was having you find it and use the expression. Here we're just solving. So it's Patrick.
You can breaststroke
for no less than 10 minutes. Excellent. Minimum of, right? That's another way you could say it, a minimum of. So whatever one of those is natural to your vocabulary, use it. I don't want to see less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. I don't want you using those phrases, okay? All right, Danny, does that help you? Awesome. What else can I do for you guys? Addison? 32. Let's take a look at 32. All right, so 32 said, the table gives information about 3 long-distance telephone companies. For each company, the table gives the monthly fee and the charge per minute for making long-distance calls. After how many minutes of long-distance calls is the cost of using A for 1 month less than the cost of using B? Okay, that is your sentence that sets up your game plan. All right, so first of all, I'm just going to do part A, because part A and part B are pretty much the same thing. When it comes to game plan, it's just different information. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, so I'm just going to look at A, which just deals with company A and B. So here is company A, and its monthly fee is $2 per month, and they have 0.039 cents per minute. All right, we are looking at company B. There's no fee, and they charge more per minute. That's how they make their money. All right, and we're only dealing with a 1 month period of time. So we don't care that that's a rate. The only rates we care about are the per minute. Okay, so then they said to us, after how many minutes of long distance calls is the cost of company A less than the cost of company B? How many of you guys agree with that very, very, very general game plan? I highly recommend you write that down. Highly recommend you start with that. All right, if you start with that, that can set you up for then making more details to it. Okay, can you guys see that? All right, so someone tell me, how do I come up with the total cost of company A? Sophia? Excellent. Is less than. Somebody tell me how to find company B's total amount. Cullen?
Cost per minute per B times number of minutes.
Excellent. So there is my game plan. Addison, are you cool with that? Okay. How many of you guys see that this overall general game plan is helpful? Okay, use that then. Think about that and use that. Don't just dive right into details. Just think in general. Okay. I don't know my number of minutes, but they are both going to be the same number of minutes, because we want to know after how many minutes. So that X is the same for both of them. Okay? Now, let's fill in what we have. 2 plus 0.039x is less than 0.049x. All right, so this is like our equations that have variables on both sides. What do I do? What am I going to do to solve this? Whose voice have I not heard much of? Brendan, we're going to try you out. Are you cool with that? Okay.
So we're going to do plus negative 0.39.
Yeah, don't forget that x that goes with it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead. Excellent.
Plus negative.
What's this? What operation's going on here? Divide. Yeah. So this is multiplication, right? So, exactly. So we're going to divide by 0.01. All right. That's when you guys get your calculators. You will be able to use your calculators. All right. So I'm going to do 2 divided by 0.01, and I end up with 200. And then is less than my x. AJ? It's a really good question. Have you guys ever looked at gas? Like, have you ever looked at those, like when you've gone by a gas station, and they have the price on there, and they might show like $2.59, and then you see like 9, like a little tiny 9 up in the right corner. That's really $2.59.9 cents. So they're letting you think that this is under 4 cents, and it's really not. They actually will charge you down to the hundredths place in money. All right, that just gives them more money. And if it's just 2 people doing that extra like 100th of a cent isn't much. But when you've got millions of people with electricity, look at an electrical bill that your mom and dad have. That's how they charge it. They go out to the hundreds. They go out to the thousands place. All right, if you take a look at these, it just gives them more money. All right, it allows them to say, like, when you have a charge of like, similar idea that if you see something and it's $9.99, in your brain, you're like, oh, that's under $10. Yeah, it's really not that much under $10, right? It's the same idea. All right, so they charge that way. All right, so now I end up with x is greater than 2. What does that mean? What does that mean, Amanda? All right, so after 200, is 200 included in it? So I can't say 200 or more. That would be if it was equal to as well. So how about after more than 2 minutes, 200 minutes? The cost for company A would be less than the cost for company B. Does that make sense to you guys? So really pay attention to that. And you are getting credit in your answer for saying it the right way. So if you got all the way down here, you did everything right, and you did say after 200 or more minutes, you would get a deduction on that because your statement doesn't match your answer. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Is this a little bit easier? Is it getting a little bit easier for you guys in writing these kind of? Okay, so if you're saying to yourself, yes, it's getting easier, that's awesome, still practice. If you are saying to yourself, kind of, you need to come see me, we need to go over them more, you need to focus more over the next 2 or 3 days before you start your chapter review. You need to practice over the next few days focusing on just writing the game plans. Because I feel like once you guys get your game plans, the skills of solving it isn't the problem. It's writing the right game plan and writing it fully. Does that make sense to you guys? So focus on writing those game plans when you're doing some extra work. Okay? Come see me, please. All right, I am here before school by 7:30 every morning. If you want to come see me, just come on up, come see me. I'll talk about whatever you want to. All right, we don't have a study hall today. We will have one tomorrow. Come in at lunch if you want to today. Let me know you're coming. I'll help any way that I can. Focus on the story problems, you guys. Focus on those game plans. That's the one thing that catches you guys up. Okay? All right, you guys can go.